Hello everyone, Fatty Catty here, and today we're going to be talking about the Migrant Caravan. And to start us out, I figure we'll watch this nice, peaceful, relaxing video where the migrants come to the Mexican border, because they're coming to the Mexican border so that they can walk through it, and then they can come to our border, the American border. So let's see how they treated the Mexican border with respect and civility, and let's just see how it worked out for them. Look at all these American flags here. He's at least wearing an American flag. I'll give him some points. But if we, come on, zoom out a little bit, you'll see they're waving these flags. These don't look like American flags. Why are you waving the flag of the shit heap that you're coming from? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that. And why are you climbing the fence? What? You need to be more, civil. Come on, guys. What? You're tearing down the fences now? This doesn't seem very civil. I mean, if you're rocket scientists and everything, why are... Oh no, they're walking through. Ooh. And they're ignoring the police. Oh, that's not good. I mean, oof. Oh, they opened the gate. I mean, I guess, who cares? Just let them through. Nobody gives a crap. But, why are you waving the flag of the shit heap you came from? Like, why would you have any pride for that? It seems a little bit contradictory. We're leaving this shit heap to come to the best nation ever in the history of mankind. But we're carrying our flag because we like our flag. Why do you like your flag if you want to come to my country? Please, no. So let's move on a little bit. Hundreds of U.S. troops heading to the border to deal with the Migrant Caravan. I'm glad. So, Trump and Mattis have sent U.S. troops and the National Guard and Homeland Security to keep these people out. I think that, as a general rule, if you're going to come and tear at other people's borders, you've automatically shown that you're not a very civil person, so we should not be accepting you into our nation, just on that front. You could go to the U.S. Embassy, either in Mexico or in Honduras, where you're from. You can apply for, you can apply for, why am I blanking on this? It's not aid, it's asylum. You can apply for asylum there. If the U.S. doesn't want you, it's probably because you're not one of the rocket scientists that the left constantly, touts are coming from your countries. Guess you could take it up with the rocket scientists coming from your countries. I mean, the rocket scientists and the Nobel laureates and all these people that Mexico is throwing at us. I mean, I'm so thankful that they're sending these people to us. I mean, I'd hate if anyone but the best was coming. So let's keep going here. 2,100 National Guard, 800 soldiers. I think we should at least match their numbers. I think that would be a good idea. The Migrant Caravan is still more than 1,000 miles away from the U.S. They're 7,000 size, mostly are currently walking and suffering from exhaustion, dehydration, and heat stroke. Well, maybe you should try to, put all that energy you put into walking into making your own shithole country better. Just, a little bit of thought there. Yeah, just a little bit there. Nothing much. Let's see how this is going. So Vox, our gateway to truth, they have some choice lines here that we can talk about. There's a firm distinction between asylum seekers and people seeking to make, their life better. Oh, okay, so here we are. Some of them have pointed out concerns for their safety. One AP blah 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 that she's been hiding from a local gang who threatened to kill her because they'd mistaken a tattoo of her parents' names for a symbol of a rival gang. Well, that's not, governmental persecution. So, not my problem. Also, why don't you, try to get the police in your country to take care of that gang? Another, traveling with her husband and 2 sons, said that after her 16-year-old son refused to sell drugs for the gang, they were going to kill him or kill us. Once again, why don't you try to get your representatives to take care of that gang? Or why don't you take care of that gang if it's such a shithole? I mean, you can defend yourself. I don't know if, that's something that's part of your culture, but in America, if someone comes to kill you, you can put them down in the dirt like the dog they are. So I don't know about that. Others have cited poverty and the inability to support their family on $5 a day. Well, once again, not my issue, quite frankly. Also, considering that capitalism has raised most of the world out of poverty, I think you're mistaking what is poverty for just not great conditions, which is unfortunate. Once again, this is very sad. I don't want you to think that I'm a callous prick. It's just the issue is that their problems are not my problems. I have problems. They're very first world problems, but they are still problems. And the simple fact of the matter is that these people can make their life better. You see, my grandfather worked extremely hard throughout his entire life to make sure that my mother and her mother, my, grandfather's wife, were able to have a good life. He worked very hard. He stored up a large amount of money in the millions. My grandmother handled the finances very poorly, but still, my grandfather had worked hard enough that even with her poor management, my mother was able to live a good life. And my father worked extremely hard to come from Italy, where his family literally were sheep herders, to come here, and we live a pretty good life. And he came here legally, and I'm not going to say that these people, shouldn't be able to come into the U.S. I'm saying there is a system, there's a process. If you refuse to do that process, you're an asshole. A few are trying to get home after being deported to return to their families, including U.S.-born, U.S. citizen kids. Yeah, that really pisses me off, I'm not going to lie. Anchor babies. We really need to change how citizenship works in the U.S. And you could say this is a bit elitist, but if you jump across the border and your baby pops out, I don't really know if I count that as a citizen. I don't know if the founding fathers would count that as a citizen. I really feel like that was an oversight. As much as people like to say that, guns are nothing like they used to be, even though they still fire a bullet, transportation has changed massively. And when I say massively, I mean in ways we couldn't have imagined. Planes, none of the founding fathers thought planes would ever be a thing. I highly doubt it. Or that, travel would be 8 hours. You can make what used to be a 6-month trip. So I feel like there's a much better argument for the founding fathers didn't think transportation would advance as quickly as it has than, guns that shoot bullets in pretty much the same fashion as they did, back then, are somehow radically different than they are now. I mean, there was bolts, there was receivers, they had muskets, they also had cartridge weapons. It's disingenuous to say that, one has, it isn't disingenuous to say that one has advanced further than the other. It's very clear that transportation is much further along than weaponry is. U.S.-born kids and the lives they'd built, well, if you built your life on a, foundation of sand, and a wave comes and knocks the foundation down, maybe you shouldn't have done that. I miss my PlayStation, one Caravan member told I don't care. I miss Buffalo Wild Wings. Once again, you see, that's very sad, but why don't you, try to make your country have an electrical grid that can support a PlayStation or, an economy that Buffalo Wild Wings would want to have a location at instead of trying to come to my country. I get that, you want to come to my country because it is the greatest country in the history of mankind. I'm very proud of my country. I am. I really am. I love America. I adore it. It's great. It has the best foundation of any nation in the history of mankind. And the Christian principles that are built upon, they warm my heart. They really do. And here's the Associated Press. Over 7K strong migrant, blah, 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 pushes on, blah, blah, blah. There's some quotes here. One lady says that they're trying to come to the Promised Land. The difference is that, you see, the Promised Land was given to the Jews by God. And after the Jews had been bad, the Promised Land was dependent on the Jews doing something that was good. Following God's, laws and precepts was was the main thing that they had to do. And the Jews were bad. They were very bad. And God took that away. The fig tree, where he curses the fig tree and it had 12 leaves on it, which, if you think that wasn't, symbolic of Israel, then I don't know what to tell you. But the whole point of that was that, the nation of Israel would wither and die because they had not followed God's laws and precepts. And I think that anyone who says that, Israel hadn't been on shaky ground for the last ever until America stepped in would be foolish. Moving on. So you've gotten my take on a lot of the immigration stuff that is happening, and I wanted to end this out on something beautiful and great and wonderful. And we're going to listen to a little bit of Giuseppe Cartini, the Devil's Trill Sonata in G minor, because I wanted to leave us out on something that shows why I think Western civilization is beautiful and why these things are worth protecting. And I wanted to display some of the beauty that has come from Christian values. And let's listen to some of it. So we're going to sample the beginning, the middle, and the end because just want to show some contrast, and it's 16 minutes, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, quite frankly. And I want to, give a little demonstration. Okay. So yeah, that was some parts from the Devil's Trill Sonata. I think you should listen to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's becoming one of my favorite pieces of music. And throughout, there's highs and lows, and it's great. And the violin and the piano, and they complement each other extremely well. And I just love it. I think it's beautiful, and it's incredible. It's I forget who said this, but it's like the aim of art is to reach the transcendent, and that's it. You can almost touch it. It's so beautiful, and I love it. And we're trying to protect these things. We're trying to make them more known. We're trying to increase the not Western thought, but we're trying to profligate values and things that make your life better. That's what I strive to do. I try to be a better person each day. I try to work harder. I try to learn more. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to take responsibility for your own life. These people who are coming in these caravans, I'm sorry that their countries are shitholes. But maybe they shouldn't have, sat back and let these things happen. I was talking with someone who's a Republican, and he's rather old, and I told him straight out, at some point in your life, you didn't fight for what you believed in, and you let the other side call you these names, and you rolled over, and you let these things happen to my country. And that angered me. It really did. Because, you come to realize that people they let go. And then, the things that you love fall apart. And I don't want the things I love to fall apart. They're beautiful. They're true. They're everything that's wonderful. And these people see these beautiful things, these true things, these magnificent achievements. And they think that if they just come, they'll be able to take these things and they'll make their life better. But what'll happen in the end is that when they come and they take these things, they'll ruin them just like they ruined everything in their own country. And until they learn that, working hard and being better is what makes your life better and that to learn and to grow as an individual and to fight back against oppression is what, that's what you need to do. That's what makes Americans Americans. It's not a race or a gender. It's a set of principles, and that's what made America the promised land. And until you realize that, you can't come in, because even if you do come in, you'll just make it worse. You'll tear it down. And I don't have an issue with what race these people are. I have an issue with the values that they have. And their values are not my values, and their values are not the founding fathers' values, and their values are not values that will make my country better. That's what it boils down to. And that's why I want to keep them out of my country. So, if you agreed with me, thank you. If you didn't, please tell me why I'm wrong in the comments below. If you like this video, like and comment, or if that's a little bit too much for you, just like. I know commenting is real difficult. My Twitter and Discord are linked below. I am in my Discord quite a lot. You can join the voice channels, just at me. I might join in and talk with you. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye.